Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to Blender Seth, another tutorial. This one's going to be on a split tutorial on the two best topics on my channel right now. And that would be Fluent 2.0 and I guess you could say porn, getting started on porn, making money with porn, however you want to put it. But anyway, I think using Fluent to get started and making money with porn uh, is a good way to get started. And Blender and making money online if you want to. It could be porn. It could be any other avenue if you wish. In this case, it just happens to be porn because it's one of the avenues that I do. But anyway, for those getting started, I choose Fluent over BoxCutter and all the other hard service stuff out there is because to get let's get this out. There's a few things we need to get straight here first before we get started. Number one, don't think you're going to start throwing out porn videos in the first week you get started doing this. My friend, let reality hit you. If you're just getting started, you are a long ways from that. You haven't even learned how to model a box in Blender yet. So, well, for the majority of you, for the followers that were interested, my followers that were interested, in this, they're just learning 3D. So, yeah, don't get your hopes up high that you're just going to jump right in and get your feet wet and off you go. You're putting out Debbie Does Dallas within 2 weeks. No, that's not going to happen. First, you got to learn how to model, which means first you got to learn 3D and how it works. Then you got to learn 3D modeling. Then you're going to have to learn how to put animation to it. Then you're going to have to learn how to put audio and animation to it. You're going to seek it. We're a long ways away here, so don't get your hopes up high in that regard. Second of all, problems. If you are not a problem solver, then out of the 10 channels that I have, probably none of them are going to help you because porn and 3D, I'm talking serious work. I'm not talking, a hobby person, that's, just messing around with 3D, making boxes and cubes and and stuff like that. Putting together scenes and just dallygagging around. And I'm talking about people that are actually putting together products to sell, to put out there. And this brings up a important point. I had an issue with Fluent the other day, and that is I posted on. A lot of people are wanting to know about the Pro Trip tools in Fluent, which are the plate, the wires, the grids, and all that stuff. Because apparently not a lot of people are putting out videos on Fluent, period, to begin with, except CG Seth and CG Thought, and the CG. Another guy, CG. I forgot what his name was. A big name, Thought. I don't know what it was. Something. There's another guy that puts it, but he doesn't really do tutorials. He's an affiliate person. And he does it as I am. I have affiliate link to Fluent down below, and Materializer if you want to do purchase those and stuff. And I don't do Materializer on here because I have a competing product, you could say, on that. Which is called Smudger, and which pretty much does close to the same thing. But yeah, that's why you don't see that on here. You could say that I've also got HardOps, which is what I use for all of my Blender. I use HardOps, but I don't want to get into HardOps with all the beginners here because HardOps is a lot more involved and in depth and a much larger program, with menus and options, and all kinds of other stuff in it. So Fluent is in my opinion, is a little more easier to grasp, but it's not without problems. Like I was saying, I had an issue yesterday or this weekend when I decided to do tutorials on PowerFluent. I figured I'd start off right at the beginning, because you see, if you pull it up right here, this is the power trip down here. You know, the grid, the panels, the wires, pipes, you know, and all that. I figured I'd just start right off with panels, because it's the first option in the menu there, and that's what I'm going to get into here in just a minute for a small demonstration on some of the things you got to figure out. And the reason, I know a lot of you, you know, like again, my followers, for you that are finding this on YouTube, great. And if you've already got Fluent and you're a little bit past these tutorials, then that's great also. We're going to work up, you know, to more advanced stuff, but I'm here for the people that are just starting out, wanting to get, needing to get started. Because there's a reason why you got to go over the basics, so you can solve problems on your own instead of spending too much time on YouTube. Because, I mean, YouTube is the rabbit hole. I mean, let's face it. Even myself, I get stuck, you know, watching videos and stuff on YouTube. But you're going to have problems. Now, when you get serious, and you know, this is the reason why, one of the reasons, you know, no downgrading on developers out there, you know, specifically Fluent, which, you know, I'm going to make a remark about here, but Fluent's done by a sole developer, a one-person developer. And I can relate, because I'm a sole developer in security programs. Because, you know, I do it all. I do my own work. HardOps is not. HardOps is a group of people. So when I decided to do PowerTrip, I had the version 2.0.2 installed on the system, which is, I'm running Blender 3.0.0 here on my machine. And I don't know if the microphone might have picked that up. The wife just went out the door just a bit ago. She'll probably be coming in a few minutes too. But and this is on the Mac. So I went to do, you know, I was doing a tutorial. I went to use the panel on there, and Blender crashed. And so I tried it a few more times, and it still, as soon as I hit enter to make the panels, it crashed. So I made a video, an unlisted video, so I could show the developer, you know, the issue. And I even went over to my Windows machine. I have a Windows machine which has version 3.1.2 on it, which is a stable version as of 2 or 3 days ago. And it did the same thing on the Windows machine. As soon as I hit enter, it crashed. Now the developer says you need to use 3.1.0. Now I don't know. That could be a Blender thing. That could not be, you know, the version part of it. You know, 3.1.0 versus 3.1.2 and 3.0.0. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me personally. But this is the point. I do not have that problem with HardOps. And HardOps puts out updates almost monthly, at least one a month, sometimes 2 in a month. And never ever have I had an issue like that with HardOps. I do have issues with HardOps, mind you, and other things, but not with the tool working in specific versions, unless the developers specifically tell you, you know, you need this version because of this feature that is only available in, you know, 3.1.2, but it is not available in 3.1.1 or earlier. And these things, you know, you have to figure out on your own. And I'm going to get into that. Get used to this, you know, because this is a teaching channel, mind you. I just don't jump on here and, you know, throw together a box, you know. Well, I do, but this is about teaching people about 3D first. 3D first. And then the goodies and toys and stuff, which are the add-ons that will save you time in building your models and building your scenes and stuff, so you can get them to market and sell them. That is the end goal, to sell your stuff, or if you're doing porn, to get your porn up on the sites with your Patreon address in the video, so people that like what you're doing can go to your Patreon and support you, because that's how it is done now in porn. Patreon. MasterCard and the credit card companies have came down really hard on adult content, and you know, that's something that we'll get into later. That's deviating from this later. We'll get more into that. And like I said, well, I don't know if I said it yet or not, I'm making a membership site specifically for the porn. Now, I might put it on. I might have it just Patreon members, because I'm not into the whole course thing. I don't want to charge people $60, $80, or $997, to buy my course, but the time that it takes to put together a course also, you need a little bit of compensation for it too, and that's why I might put it on Patreon, because it'll be like a $10 subscription, or $10 level. It'll be a $3, a $5, a $10, or something like that. But anyway, it won't be more than $10 or $15 a month, and it'll be a complete course on porn, and I'll go into the details of making porn specifically, and the animating of it and stuff like that. And because I can't really do that on YouTube, YouTube's policies and stuff really don't allow for that. But anyway, enough on that. We're going to be using Fluent to do a lot of the modeling on this, because, like I said, it's mostly bowling. It's circles, boxes, squares, and stuff like that. HardOps gets into it does that, but it gets into a whole lot more stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm sticking with Fluent on this. But well, let's just jump into it. Another thing, I'm using OBS to record this now. I got a lot of ways to record my screen. I have been using Camtasia because it's far less resource heavy on the computer when I'm recording with it. And but apparently, I don't know, on my YouTube, some people, watch my video and it's blurry. They really can't make out the menus that where I'm at. Which if you're familiar with, I know, okay, it might not be perfect, but if you're familiar with Blender and you use Blender enough, you pretty much know. When you see the menu pop down or you see what I'm doing, you pretty much know what I'm doing, except for my pie menu. My pie menu is a little custom, but anyway, I digress again. For the third time, let's get into it. Hope you guys are still with me here. I do have a habit of rambling on, but let's get started. This is using Fluent, but it's about problem solving. I've got the panel thing fixed. I just installed version 2.0.0. I dropped down a version or two, until I found one that worked with 3.0.0. And, again, this is part of the problem solving. You don't need to go out there and start hitting up forums and, and everything, asking for, people. You got to think, use your noggin, when you want to learn 3D. Having somebody tell you the answer is not really learning. You have to figure these things out on your own, and that solving your problems is how you learn what you're doing. But here we go. Let's get started. Enough of that. I think I've said that like 3 times already. 4 times now, actually. But see, now I'm starting to do something. Now because of OBS, it's lagging my system now. And this is why, see, I just click to bring up the grid. Now the grid shows up. And, the video might be clearer, but this is why I was using Camtasia. because OBS is a hog, for those of you that know OBS. But let's see if we can get through this respectively without Blender crashing also for one. Yeah, this is really lagging. Okay, so we'll go with that. Let me back out of here. Oh, the cell phone binging. I'm sure his mic's picking it up. But, okay. Now we're set. I want to get to where we can see the side profile of it. Now we're going to click on our thing. I want to put two sides here. So we're going to pick that side, and we're going to pick this side and hit enter. We're going to bring the panel out. Oh, it don't really matter. I guess this is demonstration, but we'll bring it out to there. And we'll go with that. Now we're not clicking the box here. We want to, because we're gonna cut the cutter here. And all programs do this. This is not exclusive to Fluent. You can, if you use HardOps, you can also cut cutters with HardOps too. It's part of the modeling. But there's some things that you got to know about. And if you know 3D, just like artifacts, when your shading gets messed up, that's another thing you got to master that a lot of people have a hard time understanding. But this brings up another topic, and we're going to learn about it right here. For those of you that are experienced in Blender, you already know what the issue is. So I ain't going to say nothing right now. We're just going to figure it. I'm going to show people how to figure things out once they know what's going on. And, this is a part where knowing the basics of Blender, vertices, lines, faces, normals, and all that stuff, this is where all of this comes in, when you're learning. Forget, the add-ons and stuff. Learn how 3D works first. And then you can pretty much figure out problems when you run into them. But we're going to put a little cut in here, something that's commonly done, but only in this panel that we did, not the box. That's why we got to select the box. But let's bring this back up here. We're going to go into the edit. Actually, let's do it different. Yeah. I was going to do a little more advanced version, well, actually intermediate, but let's get this a little simpler and show the same problem, but in a little simpler way. Let's just get another cut out here. We were going to do a cut, but in a different manner, but that might be a little more in depth than you guys are ready for right now. We're going to right click on this. Let's hit our V key. Get some more things here. Let's just put it on the edge right here. Bring it out. Hit our shift key to center it. And let's go. Boy, it is really lagging the system. And I know specifically this is OBS, but let's put it there. Let's cut it in. I don't want to go. See, this is, when you're modeling, this is what I could go halfway right there because that's a pretty good look. That's a good look. But I'm going to go. I don't want to go all the way because I want just a little bit of lip there. So we'll go with that, and we'll put that in there. Now I also want to put a bevel on this, so we'll do that. Let's put a chamfer. So we'll go with a smooth. Not a round one, a smooth one, and let's just call that good. Now, we okay it. Now, for those of you just starting out, and specifically learning Blender, that haven't seen CG Thought or CG Seb's videos either, you might be lost here. You might be saying, okay, how do I get that back? I'm not done with this cut here. But how do I get it back? Well, bring up your menu, bring up your cutters. This is also, again, something you can do in BoxCutter. But we're going to bring up, select it, so we have it. Bring up the menu again, and this is the edit button, the edit Fluent object. We're going to click that, and now we're back with the menu. But something has happened, way back when we created this panel. And let me show you what it is. Let's say, well, I don't, okay, we don't need one on to even it out. We want to array it or mirror it over to the other side. So let's pull it up and let's mirror it. You're like, okay, wait a minute. That doesn't look like what I need. Let me try it here, see what we get. Okay, no, that's not where I want it to go. Now you can see right here, this is green, and that's the green line there. The X is red, but this red is going up at a 45-degree angle. So you might be thinking, okay, this is not going straight across like I would want it, and I don't want it way up here in the corner. And you really can't move this with this gizmo here. Well, if you know normals, there's there's world normals and there's local normals. And there's vertices. Vertices have normals also, as do lines and faces. And this gizmo actually gives you the clue. The red right here at a 45-degree angle is in between the Y and the X. Because the Y and the X are 90 degrees apart. The red is 45 degrees, which is right in the middle. So somehow, this is wanting to mirror it right in the middle of X and Y. Well, for those of you that would know, this is an alignment problem. It's not aligning with the normals in the way that you want it to. So let's get rid of this. Go back to our item here, and we're going to go back to where we started, where we have this selected. And this is our issue, our panel that we made. Let's pull out our end panel and go up to items and look right here at rotation. Well, hopefully you can see it, but you can see the rotation's all off. X is 34 degrees, Y is 31 degrees, Z is 143 degrees. These should all be 0 because you need to zero out your rotation. And how we do that, we can go back, how we do that is Control A, pull up Apply, and I just hit all transformations. Now, sometimes this applies, sometimes it doesn't. Like I said, this is what I was going to do in the beginning when I first started out with this to show you. But without going into it and explaining it, I'm going to show you anyway, even though it doesn't apply here. But there will be times when this does apply, when you get into more complicated designs and complicated cuts and more angles and stuff like that. This will come into play, along with aligning your cuts. When you hit the A button and you want to align your grid to a certain angle or a certain cut and stuff. Seb has shown that on one of his videos before, I believe. But just to show you, we're going to bring up the cutters again. We're going to select this cutter, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring up our apply transforms. We're going to apply all transforms to that also, just in case there's something squee about that too. And now, with that selected, we'll go back in here, hit our edit button, and now when we go to mirror, make a disbeliever out of me, will you? Did this not register? No, it didn't. How come that did not register? Okay, there we go. My OBS software was slowing the system down so far that it zeroed out this box right here instead of the panels, because after the first time after I zeroed it out, I clicked on this box right away, but my computer hasn't caught up yet because it lags behind the OBS software. So this cube got zeroed out instead of the panel. Now we'll do this again. Let's hit this, show our cutters, select our thing, and let's apply transforms to it. Now bring it up again, zero this. Hopefully this works, cross your fingers. Let's mirror it, and there we go. Now we got the right mirror. We can mirror it over there, and voila, Bob's your uncle. We are done, and we are mirrored. And this shows you live about the things that could happen, because this should have went as planned, but it didn't. I did this twice before I recorded it, and no problems. But my OBS software wasn't running then, and Blender was running smoothly and responsively. And there goes the problem, proving my point that sometimes things happen, and instead of just giving it up and hitting the forums and hitting other stuff and hey guys, help me out, what happened, and I mean, try to put some thought into it. Think about it for a minute on what's happening. Okay, what do we know that was happening here? Well, I've already done this once already, but I knew the OBS was slowing down the system badly, actually. So it was lagging behind what I was doing. And, putting together A plus B, equals C. And I knew what the issue was, and we were able to fix it. And it's the same with anything else, no matter what it is, what you're trying to figure out. If you understand your tools, if you understand 3D and how it works, if you understand what you're doing and how it is supported, like we understood when I mirrored this. As soon as we saw our gizmo pointing up in the air, well, okay, we knew there was a problem right there. We knew that wasn't right. So look at the problem first. Try to analyze the problem. Okay, I need it pointing this way, 90 degrees, but it's not. It's pointing at 45 degrees. Then think for a minute. Why would it point at 45 degrees? And get the calculator running in there like Homer Simpson, and figure out. Then you should be able to figure it out. You know what? I bet you it's normals. I bet you they're pointing in the wrong direction. It's trying to solve between Y and X here. So something has thrown off the axis on it. Oh, align. Wait a minute. Align. We got to align something. And you're right. We have to align the panel that we scaled. Remember, I checked these panels right here, the top one and the side right here. And then when I made them, I scaled them up to where they are now. And anytime you scale any object in Blender, you're going to have to apply all the transformations to it. Something to remember. It will save you a lot of problems in the future. But this has probably went on right now long enough, and probably 60% of it was my babbling. But hoping. Okay, that was the peanut gallery that put throwing in their opinions. So that was actually my wife. Yeah, that was actually my wife who said that. So me calling her a peanut, I might end up dead after this video. So if anyone, doesn't see me and months or whatever, then don't wait for the crime show to come out. You already know what happened. But anyway, with 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 that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. For those of you that are still here, and you'll still be privy to seeing me switch over to OBS at the beginning of this video, and here in a minute to switch over to OBS to stop the video. And you also see if it does come out clearer, and the video is more clear than the Camtasia videos are, which is pretty much the whole rest of the channel, then you know why I don't use OBS. So, anyway, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, enjoy Blender, and hopefully we'll get to it. Well, the serious porn stuff we'll get to in Patreon, but we're going to be modeling scenes that you can sell for other people that are making porn scenes, animators. These guys can animate porn, but they don't model. So they hit Renderosity and stuff like that. They hit these channels where they can buy ready-made scenes, ready-made rooms, and stuff like that modelers have put together, and they purchase them. $15, $20, whatever, And that's what I'm going to be teaching you guys how to build with Fluent, is whole rooms and scenes, dungeons, and what have you, all that stuff. But anyway, with that, again, for the second or third time on the sign off here, we'll see you guys in the next video. Have fun.